Epstein co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell invoked her Fifth Amendment right, refusing to answer questions in front of lawmakers yesterday. Her lawyer says she would be willing to cooperate and clear President Trump's name if he grants her clemency. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle criticize that move.
I just think it's unconscionable that she's pleading the Fifth or trying to make deals. She needs to tell the truth. It's long overdue.
She is a monster. She does not care. She has no remorse. She is not seeking to bring about some kind of closure for these women.
More on this. Let's bring in CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman. So help me understand this. She's already in jail. She's already being convicted. Pleading the Fifth in what way? She's already, I don't get it.
Well, I mean, she could be charged with additional crimes, Vlad. You can't be...
But can she... you're right. But could she, rather than receiving clemency, could she say that whatever she testifies to does not impact her current sentence?
I mean, well, she asked for immunity, and they didn't give her that either. But yeah, what she wants, clemency could mean a reduction in sentence. It could mean a pardon, which it's reported she's been vying for.
Right.
So what she really wants here is protection. She also could be charged with perjury, Vlad, if she is found to make a statement that's false there. So she's trying to protect herself at a moment when people really want to hear from her.
So she says that she has information. Obviously, she most likely does. She also says that information would absolve both the current president of the United States and former President Bill Clinton of any wrongdoing. She's a liar. I mean, that's why she's in jail. The question, of course, is if you're the president of the United States and you dangle clemency or even a potential pardon, are you able to trust what she says when she is granted what she wants? I
mean, I think that's an excellent question, Vlad, and people really are weary of what she says. She has shown herself to not always be honest. She's obviously using this as leverage. She's saying to President Trump, I can exonerate you here. I can exonerate former President Clinton if you just give me this clemency, a pardon, some way to protect her.
And so it would also beg the question then, what would you be exonerating the current and the former president of? They haven't been accused of anything, as far as we know, right? I mean, as far as when we talk about the legal accusations and allegations, nothing's come to bear yet.
That's absolutely right. And she has previously said that she didn't see any wrongdoing from President Trump. She has said that former President Bill Clinton was her friend, not Epstein's. But, you know, there are still a lot of questions out there. There are instances that are being found of when people were viewing unredacted files yesterday, members of Congress, something that contradicted Trump had previously said. So she is still saying, I can sit here and say that you have not done any wrongdoing. But yeah, the question is, will people actually believe her?
Of course, some members of Congress have seen some of these unredacted files. What would they be seeing that the American people are not seeing? And the other question for you, Katrina, probably even more importantly, is when it comes to these files, you see, for example, there was an ad in the Super Bowl of some of the victims who were pleading for members of Congress to bring justice to them. You have some people that are saying, well, why don't the victims name the people who have wronged them? And of course, that's blaming the victims and putting the burden on the victims, which you should never do. Why is that argument not something that Congress is entertaining?
That the victim should have to? I mean, why do you want to re-victimize these women? This is all about putting this information out there so they don't have to be the ones to sit there and name these names. That's why they want those files out there.
And so the unredacted files that Congress has seen, is there anything there that they could do to help these victims?
So far, you know, they've only had a brief time to look at these, and supposedly, Vlad, there's 4 computers. They have to take handwritten notes. But Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna already said that they've found at least 6 names of men who could be potentially incriminated, where they don't see why their names are redacted in these files. One was pretty high up in foreign government, Massey said. One is a pretty prominent individual. Jamie Raskin also said that he saw something that contradicted President Trump said about barring Epstein from Mar-a-Lago. So they're already finding some things in these files, and they've only had a brief time to look.
Wow. All right, Katrina. Really great to have you on this. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. For a look at the global fallout from the Epstein files, I want to bring in CBS News senior foreign correspondent Holly Williams. Holly, you are, of course, in London, where the British Prime Minister finds himself in the middle of a political firestorm. Help us understand what's going on there.
Good morning, Vlad. Well, we should make one thing very clear. The British Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, does not seem to be mentioned in the Epstein files and, as far as we know, had no direct connection with Jeffrey Epstein. But despite that, Starmer is now fighting for his political survival over his appointment of a man named Peter Mandelson to be the UK ambassador to the United States last year. Now, Mandelson has been a powerful political player here in the UK for decades, and it was known at the time that Mandelson had been an associate of Jeffrey Epstein. But after the release of some Epstein documents last September by the US House Oversight Committee, we learned more about the depth of that friendship, including after Epstein's conviction as a sex offender. Starmer then fired Mandelson, but now, after the release of millions more Epstein documents last month, we've learned that Peter Mandelson is alleged to have leaked confidential British government documents to Epstein, including market-sensitive information, and also that Epstein apparently sent $75,000 to accounts linked to Mandelson. The British police are now investigating Mandelson. 2 of Prime Minister Starmer's top aides have resigned in recent days, and one senior figure in Starmer's party has called on him to resign. Now, the British Prime Minister is hanging on for the moment, but there is a very real possibility that the fallout from the Epstein scandal could still force him from office.
Wow. All right. Holly, let me ask you about this. Buckingham Palace has also weighed in on the Epstein turmoil. What can you tell us about that?
So, Vlad, the latest Epstein documents also appear to show that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, that's the man formerly known as Prince Andrew, brother of the British King, leaked confidential British government documents to Jeffrey Epstein when he was serving as the UK trade envoy. The British police have confirmed they are assessing whether there are grounds to investigate Andrew Mountbatten Windsor following a complaint by an anti-monarchy group. A spokesperson for King Charles, who, as you remember, stripped his brother of his titles over his friendship with Epstein, said, quote, "While the specific claims in question are for Mr. Mountbatten Windsor to address, if we are approached by the police, we stand ready to support them." So to be clear, that seemingly is the royal family once again doing its best to distance itself from Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and his scandalous friendship with Epstein. One thing I would point out, Vlad, multiple people here have remarked to me that public figures, the rich and the powerful in the UK, are being held to account for their ties to Epstein and suffering real consequences. But they do not see the same thing happening in the United States.
All right, Holly Williams reporting from London for us. Thank you, Holly.